How's it going, guys? This is a tutorial for how to play old-time rock and roll. We're going to be doing this lesson in two halves. The first half is for all the rhythm guitar sections with really easy options all the way to how you can get it sounding exactly like the original. And then the second half is going to be a tutorial on the solo and how to improvise over this song. Quick links will be in the description. Let's get straight in for the close-up. Okay, to be in the key of the original, we're going to want to play this with a capo at 2nd fret, but what we're actually going to be playing resembles what we call an 8-bar blues, which some of you may have come across the same chords to this in a 12-bar blues in E. So those chords would be, at its most simplest, E major, A major, and a B7. They're the open chord versions for how we can play this entire song, okay? Now, I said this was an 8-bar blues, but it's based on that standard 12-bar blues format. In this format, when we squash it down to an 8-bar blues, we get 2 bars of the E, 2 bars of the A, 2 bars of B, and 2 bars of E. If we can, it would be best to use a B power chord however you want to play it, but it is a 2nd fret proportionate to the capo B power chord. I would recommend first and then little finger for when we play that B chord, and a simple way to do that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, then A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then to B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and E. And that's our round for the entire song. I told you it was easy, but there's a way that we can make it even easier. If you paid attention, you'll notice I was only strumming the thickest 2 strings out of any chord that I was playing. So even though my fingers were like this, I was only strumming an 8th strumming pattern actually, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I was only strumming strings 6 and 5. Therefore, there's completely no reason to have any other fingers down, so long as I'm careful not to strum them with this first finger. And what I'm going to do is choose to now play it with the first finger only. So where the finger was on string 5, which was the 2nd fret, put your first finger there, and we have what's called an E power chord. Power chord! It sounds heavier, deeper, but we're actually playing fewer strings, so this makes it easier. And played in this fashion, it sounds like this. We can do exactly the same thing on the A chord, play an A power chord, by moving that first finger down, and in this case it would be 2nd fret, 4th string. That's our A power chord, and then the B power chord in the same fashion, but we can't use the same trick. We still have to use the first and little finger, and that's our B power chord. Then this chord sequence, which just repeats, as I say, through the entire song, would look like this. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, then A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And just to give you a demo, still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes the soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time rock and roll. And once you've got to that level, there are so many options that we can add in, but essentially what we're going to be doing is adding a blues shuffle, what is commonly referred to as a blues shuffle. In its most basic form, that would probably sound like this. Okay, Hopefully you're familiar with that. If not, I've got a full tutorial on exactly how to do it here and a bit more background. It's probably the lesson I would check out after this one if you're at this sort of level. But what we're going to do is keep that first finger playing the power chord, but add in the third finger playing the 4th fret on beats 2 and 4, just on 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Any pauses or mutes there are really done with the right hand. It's nothing to do with this hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is all this hand is doing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? With the right hand, keep strumming those 8s. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're just adding a little mute or vary it as appropriate. You can get a lot of feel there, as I say, but for more background on that, you want to check out that other rhythm guitar lesson. To keep this as close to the original as possible and to allow us to do this riff really easily when we go to the B chord, because it can get very tricky when we go to that B chord with a 12-bar, with any kind of blues riff, sorry. What we're going to do is change this riff to be a bit more Keith Richards, basically, and this is going to mimic the piano, which is heard really clearly in the Bob Segar version. So what we're going to do here is do this. And this chord is a 1-finger A chord, so we're going to be barring strings 2, 3 and 4. And then we add the middle finger at 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then the 3rd finger on at the 4th fret where we've been adding it for this riff. But we're also adding in that middle finger. If you want more background on this, check out any of my Rolling Stones tutorials now, for like Start Me Up and Brown Sugar. They will show you exactly how, to get more background on this if you enjoy that. So once we've got this rhythm, A, putting the fingers down, and back. 1 and 2, 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. We do the same thing on the B, but we mute string 5, because otherwise this gets incredibly difficult. We have to do a big stretch. To avoid this, flat finger 4th fret, mute it with the underside of the 1st finger, and even mute string 6 with the thumb. And we can do that same riff. In total, this would sound like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's just quickly look at the piano intro, and it's pretty simple. It's just 8 notes. So 1st finger, 2nd fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 times at the 2nd fret of the 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go open to string 5, 2, 4. And we need to silence after playing that last note. Okay? And that's when we would start playing the rhythm sections that we've done already. But now let's look at the other lead sections that we have. We have the first proper solo, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how to improvise over the rest of the song. 2, 3. that's a solo that we're learning, and then we've got some cool licks that we can steal out of that and make a longer solo, a longer improvisation. Crucially, I've taken the capo off now. I'm presuming this is kind of why this is capo at 2nd fret, as well as to kind of get that good sound for the voice, because this solo would be incredibly difficult to do if we were in E. You wouldn't be able to do a lot of the same moves, or it wouldn't sound, you know, quite as cool. So everything here is based in the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. The same pentatonic that you would play anywhere on the neck, but this one is based at 2nd fret because of the key that we're in. The opening is 2 to 4, and then to 4th string. So starting on the 3rd string, and then to 4, and then 2, 2, 4, 2, going between string 3 and 4. As we would normally do at that point, this note, played with the 1st finger on string 3, is a common note where we can give it a little bit of stink. We can bend it down a little bit, basically. Just to give it a little bit of personality. And then we're going to slide with the 3rd finger on string 3 from fret 4 to fret 6. Okay, and we're going to do this move. Now this is covered in depth in my lead guitar course, which I will link to here if I remember, and everything that I'm showing you here, if you're struggling with anything of it, that lead guitar course is the place that I would check out, because I cover exactly how to do all these slides, little bends down, and also how to improvise in any key using a load of licks, using melody notes. That's that course there if you want to check it out. We slide from fret 4 to fret 6, and then the middle finger is at fret 5, and we hold that down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the same move again. So that 1st quarter. And then the same move again, sliding 2 frets, but we're going to move the middle finger down a string. Okay? And we're going to play these notes, so we're going to, or these frets. We're going to play 7 and 8. Move it 2 frets down, so that's 5 and 6. And then after those first 2, 4 and 4. So this is a move from using the middle 2 fingers to the 3rd finger and the little finger. It just got more advanced at that point. So 1, 2, 3, add in the little finger instead, and then the last one is at the 2nd fret, and that is done one after the other. The last one is just a slide, really. You can hear all the rest. To finish that phrase, slide 3rd finger from 2nd fret to 3rd fret, and then we do that move. And that would conclude that section. That's the first half of the solo. The second part, the second half of it, or 3rd quarter, this is the trickiest bit. Okay, that is my favourite lick. And then it sort of only does that lick once. I've taught that in my lead guitar course as a cycling lick, but this one only happens once. And then, like the Chuck Berry or Highway to Hell Angus Young lick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So one more time. My favourite lick. And then finishing that with, that's the 4th quarter. all of those licks are kind of covered in some form in my lead guitar course, and that's where I show you how to string together little licks like that to make a solo. That's a great example of one. But how else could we solo over this? Well, we're in at the 2nd fret, which is our F sharp power chord. What we can also do is use any of the other kind of standard rock licks that you know, using them down at 2nd fret, or in fact up at 14th fret, where our F sharp minor pentatonic also is. So if you've learnt a lick like that one, but you want to know how to elongate this solo so that you can improvise over this whole track, or you want to improvise over this style of song, you practice it, all the same stuff, but 12 frets up. You like double your licks basically. So if you know this solo, you can play the whole thing 12 frets up. That's the same solo as we've just learnt, but played 12 frets up. You can do that with any of your licks, and it just means that anything that you learn in using the minor pentatonic scale and licks in a certain key, you can always double the amount of stuff that you can play by moving it 12 frets up. Or indeed, if you learn it above the double dot at 12th fret, you can also learn it 12 frets down as well. So I hope that has given you some ideas and helped you be able to play this great song no matter what level you're at. And for more help with your lead guitar, check out my lead guitar course. The links are on the screen now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.